So you have an aftermarket radio and you want to add an amp and a sub. This is the video. Let's go. So excuse the light. It's not really bright in here at all. I got the garage door open, but I don't know. It's kind of dim in here, but I am basically reinstalling the radio that was already installed in here. I've actually got an amp and some speakers in the trunk, which I'm about to show you guys. So I'm basically not redoing this, but basically taking this head unit out and then basically connecting the remote control to the blue wire on this. So that way I can have the amp and then basically the speakers. So right now there's nothing in there, just a big ass hole up in here. And the cool thing about this is actually looking at this, I actually thought about possibly maybe one day putting a tablet or something in here. Like, that'd be pretty badass. That'd be pretty dope. There's definitely enough space, enough room in there to basically do that. But I don't know, but we'll see about that later. But let's go to the trunk real quick. So this is what we're rocking with. This is the Pioneer 1000 watt max. And these little packages here, I actually bought these at Walmart. And I basically just built it and then basically screwed it down to the actual floor board in the back of this. I do plan to put some other stuff in here, but right now it's just the subs. So that's basically what I'm going to be working on here, is trying to get this stuff connected and hopefully we can get some sound. This was actually kind of cool. This sub right here, I think it's a 10-inch. It's a kicker. Actually came inside the SRT8. Doesn't work, so I know when they probably swapped out the radio, they probably disconnected that. That sub actually was inside this little thing that goes into the side, which is like a little sub box. I'm still going to keep this because I still have more speakers I want to add to the SRT8 in the trunk. That actually went over here in this corner here. So I still got some wires hanging in here. You guys can't really see it, but I don't know. But I do plan to keep that box in this side, and I'm actually going to get another one for this side because I want to put another 12 here and another 12 here. And pretty much have like a full-on enclosure back here. And then eventually I will probably build something for these sides here. I'm not entirely sure yet. Like if I want to get bags, then of course we'll have something here. I mean, I don't know. But these are the subs that I'm going with. It's called Jensen. They're 1200 piece, 1200 watts a piece. No, I didn't spend a lot of money on sound system. We're going to see how this sounds. And if I don't like it, then I'll buy something else. But this is what we're working with. I actually got a pretty good deal on both of these speakers. They were like $40 a piece, so why not? But all together, I probably spent like maybe $400 to $500 on both the subs, the boxes, and the amp, and not including the radio. So altogether, maybe about $800-ish or whatever. But all right, so, man, this stuff is a hot mess. They actually replaced this. So basically, I'm going to be unplugging this blue one. That's the 12 volt. That is going to go to the main remote control for the amp to power it on and off when you turn the car on and off and turn the radio on and off. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this and reconnect it and then basically retape this. So I got to pull this apart, and I can't really do that with both my hands because I've got one hand here and the other hand holding the device so I can record for you guys. So give me just a second. All right, so now that I got these two blue wires apart, this is actually your cable that's actually going to run that actually gives the 12 volts to the radio to basically cut on and off when the car is on and or off, and the same terminal for your remote control for the amp. So what I'm going to basically do, I had to take it apart to basically get the control wire that's still back in the trunk here, and basically connect them all together, and then basically rewrap them with electrical tape, and then we should be good to go. And then I'm gonna do a trial run to see if it's actually going to power on. I hope it does. And then once it does, once it gets to that point where it lights up, then I know that we're good to go. So let me go ahead and fix that, and then we'll be right back. So again, this wire is going to connect to this blue wire right here. You can even check your owner's manual or your wire diagram before doing something like that. Make sure you disconnect the battery too, because you don't want to get electrocuted. Lord Jesus, we don't need that. All right, so here is your control, your remote cable. I basically stripped this. That's why it looks like this and it's super long. Pause. But this is what's basically going to connect to both of these blue wires here. So this is the original blue wire for the terminal, basically for the car. This is the one that goes to the what's that? You call that an adapter, I guess. The adapter to the radio. And then I'm going to basically put this remote on both of these, so that way it's giving this power, also giving the radio power to whenever I start the car. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this and get everything wired down, and then we'll move on from there. All right, the next step is to get that control wire through an easy access. I always say rule of thumb, if you can't see your finger on one of these sides, then you need to pick somewhere else. It just makes it that much simpler. So now we're just going to go ahead and pull this wire through. Jesus. There we go. You see it's going. It's going, it's going, it's going. Just to give it enough slack to go to the back of the trunk. There's another way you can also do this as well. Damn. God damn. I done fucked it up. Too far. All right. Yeah, definitely a little bit too far. Let's see if I could still... There it is right there. You see it? Damn. See if I could try to siphon this back up somehow. Get my finger. All right. I can pull that in. All right, bet. We should be good now. Okay. All right. Cool. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to connect it to both of the blue wires. And then we should have that remote control connection, and we should be good to go. All right, so when you are actually doing this, make sure that you're cutting the extra, not to call it skin from the wire off, just to make it look more clean when you get to the point of doing the electrical tape, or, you know, something like this, one of these little caps, just so the way it's not in your way. So I'm gonna go ahead and snip this real quick. So I can get this on. So I can get that, how much of that can I snip off? Chop, 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 chop. Cheaty, cheaty, bang, bang. All right, that's cut. So I've already connected this to this terminal on the adapter, and now we're gonna connect both of those to the main power source here. All right, now all three are connected to the main 12-volt power supply, and we should be good to go. So before I close everything up, I'm going to, and you all should be doing this, basically doing a test run. So we're gonna go ahead and put some electrical tape over top of this, and I'm going to plug in the radio. I'm going to start the car with the battery plugged in and see if the what is that? And see, well, I can't do that just yet because I got to do this. I got to do the power supply first, which is basically to the battery. I don't have the battery connected yet, so let's do that real quick, and then we'll come back to this. All right, as you see here, the battery is disconnected, so I don't shock myself. I did that before. So everybody should be disconnecting your battery so you don't get electrocuted. The thing will fry you up like fried chicken, I'm just saying. We've already got the main power cord here. I've got my cables that go from the back of the radio to the actual amp. And then it's already come with fuses. I've already got one speaker box already connected, but we're going to try to do a test run first before I connect everything and get everything cleaned up and looking nice and neat. But I'm going to have to redo this because this actually broke the other day, and I actually have a beam piece for this. So I'm going to have to cut some of this around here to squeeze it in the little metal piece that's going to connect to this. And then after that, I'm going to heat shrink this entire piece with that metal piece in there so it basically stays intact. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so I bought these two from Home Depot. This is basically an extra piece for the power supply, and I'll explain why I bought that. Because this piece here that came with it is complete trash. But if you look at this, that's definitely not going to fit over that battery terminal, because I already have one that's similar to that to actually power the car. So I got this to basically screw it to the side of where this bolt basically is. And then we've got the heat shrink, and then some electrical tape which will go on the front. But this is going to go basically on the top of that and heat that up, melt that to that, and we should be good to go. So that's basically what I'm about to do right now. All right, so this is taking a little bit more time than usual, but I had to basically spread this copper piece out, and then the excess I'm going to cut with the nail clippers just to kind of get this to better fit on top of this. And then we should be able to connect this part to the actual power supply. All right, so we kind of ran into a little bit of an issue. So I'm actually going to have to cut this piece out because for some reason this bolt does not unscrew here. So I figured to cut this piece out and then sit this on top and then basically screw it down to the battery, and then we'll test it from there. All right, so what I meant by cut, I basically split that piece in half there. That way I can put it over top of that and basically screw it down. So it would basically go like this over top. Let's clamp. And then basically it would sit right there, and that would basically screw it down to the battery. Simple and easy and quick. So that's what I'm going to do. Finish tying this down, connect that, and then let's go ahead and get this car started, see if the amp turns on. All right, so let's go ahead and start the SRT. Oh, let me show you. All right, so I pretty much have everything connected. This is the one that I have connected, so that we're going to test this with this. Everything has basically been connected. So now we're looking for a blue light to pop on the back end. So let's go ahead and start the SRT. And then we'll put everything back once it clicks on. Once again, we're looking for the radio to cut on. Radio cut on. Check. And we have a blue light on the amp. And I would definitely play some music, but don't want no copyright, but it's working. So I'm gonna finish connecting this and basically screwing everything back down, and I will see you guys at the end of the video. All right, now here comes the other part, is basically running the wires to the radio, to the back. Basically, it's pretty clean here, how I have this from the battery. Thank God the battery's in the back, but from here, wrapped and tied here, and then the amp is basically tied in here, and then I'm running the wires pretty much through the back all the way to the front, just to kind of give it a clean look. And then I'm going to end up putting the subwoofer on top of the mat that goes over top of this, and then I'm gonna station the subwoofer. I think I'm gonna only do one in here. The other one sounds kind of weird, like it's rattly. It might be the box, but they're here down here at the bottom. And this one is the one that sounds really, really good. This one sounds good, but it's like really rattly and shaky, so it might be the box. I probably just didn't do something right there, so I may end up just getting another box altogether. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish running these wires and put everything back together and get everything looking crisp and clean, and then we'll go from there. And then like another problem is like trying to run these wires through the side and through here. I may end up running it through here and then run it straight up the middle to the front, and then, you know, go about it that way. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna run this wire, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. All right, again, like I said, guys, you want to make it look clean as possible. I actually drilled a hole through the main base of the trunk and pulled the speaker wire through. And then I'm going to connect the speaker, station the speaker right here in the middle. And then I'm going to pull the slack down to where there's not so much of this. Like I said, you want to make it look clean as possible. You don't want all kinds of stuff. I mean, I need to vacuum out of here, but you don't want all kinds of wires and stuff hanging out. Just kind of makes it look trashy. All right, so this is basically how the setup looks as of right now. Speakers going directly up the middle. It actually sounds pretty good too. So if you look in here, you don't see an amp. You don't see anything other than speakers. So let me show you how I actually did this. Let me move this one, because this one's not connected. Trapdoor number 1. And then basically here you go. The amp is basically secure down in here so it doesn't budge. It's got a little tie around the excessive power cord, the ground there, and then boom. You don't see all those crazy cords everywhere, and then you close it and you can't tell at all. And then the speaker is actually drilled. There's a hole I drilled right there, and basically pulled the string through, and then this sub is basically stationary, so it doesn't move or anything like that. So that stays there. The second one will be in there as well, but pretty simple, pretty easy install. So later I may end up changing these out, so I don't know. I might, but we'll see what happens in the future. But that's going to be it for today's video. See you on the next one. See you when I see you. Peace.